So essentially you want us to be the man, but you also want us to like be your mom, your maid.
Honey, stop the lies. Men didn't ask you to do that. You decided.
A guy one time asked me, do you want to go on a coffee date? I don't do coffee. His next text was, should we do dinner?
If you make a decision that she is not a dinner date gal yet, stick to your decision.
The gym isn't the safest place for females. The majority of the exercises you do on a leg and glute day when you're lifting weights can be very sexualized.
Why doesn't she go to a women's only gym? Crickets. Dead silence. She doesn't go to a women's only gym because she's there to get attention.
Hookup culture is responsible for creating women's overinflated sense of their level of attractiveness. And I know that sounds harsh, but stay with me because it is not women's fault.
Honey, you were almost there. Here's the problem with what she's saying. Hello, everyone. Ooh, I see you. Welcome to a brand new episode, Jedediah Bila Show. I'm so glad that you're here today because we are popping with some crazy clips. 7 clips today, one juicier than the next, and we're going to dive right in. Let's hit it. Number 1.
Ladies, this is the perfect advice for dating. A guy one time asked me, do you want to go on a coffee date? I don't do coffee. So I told him, I only do coffee for business meetings and friends. So if you want to go get coffee as friends, of course. His next text was, should we do dinner? Men know what they're doing. They first just try to lowball you to see if you would just go with it. Know your standards, know your rights, and know your worth. Because they will test you in little ways like that, even from the very beginning. Coffee dates are very simple, very easy. Dinner dates is important. You got to see how someone eats. You got to see how they interact. It's longer. It's more of a get to know you type of phase than a coffee date. That's just very casual.
Oh, man. Was there something a little creepy about that video? The lighting. It was like, ooh. I felt like I was kind of in a scary movie. Anyone with me? I don't know. The braids. It was just something was about to happen that wasn't good. I was kind of like bracing myself. Okay, so what I love, the line I love most about this video is know your rights. Know your rights as a woman. You as a female are entitled to a dinner date on date 1. I mean, this is like gone so sketch. Okay, so here's the thing, guys. If you make a decision that my guess is like somebody just didn't trust her or maybe saw her TikTok or Insta something. And he was just like, let me just go with the coffee date. Let me just see. I'm not 100% sure about this one. If you make a decision that she is not a dinner date gal yet, right? You just don't know her. It's date 1. Maybe you're just swiping right. Whatever you're doing, you're just like, I just want to do the coffee. For whatever reason, hold frame, stick to your decision. Okay. Don't say, hey, do you want to go for coffee? And then when she says, oh, I don't do coffee, then say, oh, do you want to go for dinner? Don't be the puppy dog. Don't fall into the trap because then who has the power dynamic in that relationship right away? You may as well just cancel it, call it off because right from the get-go, you are telling her what? That if you extend something and she doesn't like it, you're going to just amend, right? So I don't know what happened here, but make a decision, guys. Again, vet her. If you feel that she is worth a dinner date and you're like, yeah, I feel really good about this woman. I think she's going to potentially be a girlfriend. I met her sister. I met her mom. I met her best friend, or we had a really good conversation at that party. I like her. Yeah, then you be a gentleman. You decide I'm going to take her out to dinner. You pay the bill. Maybe it turns into something. Maybe it doesn't. But the best of intentions are there from both sides from second one. Great. If you make a decision, I want to do coffee here. I just have a funny feel. I don't know. I just don't know. Stick to your guns. Don't be so malleable and so eager to please. This whole idea that, oh, I'm deserving of this, or I need this, or I need that they say is just a game, right? It's just a game so that they can decide what date 1 looks like. And then you know what'll happen? They're going to decide what date 2 through 10 looks like too, because they're going to know that, oh, let me just say something else and he'll just crumble, right? Like a coffee cake. You don't want to be the coffee cake, just saying. Then she says, oh, it's not enough coffee. You need the dinner. You need to hear someone, how they eat, this, that. Yeah, no one is saying there's not going to be a dinner. All that's being said here is that he doesn't know you well enough, or he saw something a little, I don't know, gave him a pause or something, and he's just not shelling out the cash. Date one. By the way, you can learn a lot on a coffee date. Okay. Again, a coffee date or a walk date or a gym date, there are no distractions. It's not about the fancy dinner. It's not about the caviar. It's not about the sirloin steak. It's not about the candlelight. It's not about getting dressed up. It's not about anything but you and him. So this idea that you're not going to learn a lot about someone on a coffee date is garbage talking points, okay? Bottom line is she wants the money spent on her on date one. And I'm not saying that some women aren't deserving of that, right? Again, someone you know or someone you feel really good about, great. But if it's not, you do what you extend the offer for what you're comfortable with. And if they don't bite, let them not bite. Number two. Oh, actually, this is the second part. This is not a second part, but this complements, let's say, the first video. So let's play the second one.
Men, when you ask a woman out for coffee, I feel like this is what you think. When they decline, I think you're like, well, see, they only wanted my money. And they think that I don't have anything, and I just didn't want to go out with someone who wants me for my money. So now that she canceled, I know that she was a gold digger. That's what I think you're thinking. Women are thinking this. Hey, he invited me for a cup of coffee. I know through other men who are teaching women how to invest in themselves and find a partner who actually wants to go out with them and get to know them, has told me this is very low value. I have to decline this because this person doesn't value me and probably goes out with a bunch of other people for coffee. And I want someone who's making an investment up front and shows me that they care and put some thought into this date.
Okay. So many thoughts. Number one, why was this video taken? This video was taken for one reason, to show you the boobies. Okay. When the boobies are out that way, that's all what they want to see in the comments is you saying, I didn't hear a word you said, I just was like, eh. They want that, right? It's an attention seeking video. Or she would have just got dressed, maybe, right? You know what I'm saying? Let's just be honest, they are completely exposed. Okay. I think it's so funny the way she says coffee. I'm from New York City and I can't even do a coffee like that. That is some real Brooklyn girl there, Queens maybe, I don't know. I'm from New York, so I'm not hating on that, but man alive, coffee, it's too funny. Okay, I want to know, guys in the chat, can you help me out here? Who are these guys? Who are these guys that they are claiming? This is not the first time we've seen this. This is like the fifth or sixth time we've seen women say that there are men who are teaching women that a coffee date is low value. Where are they? Do you know, honestly, do you know channels where this is happening? I want to invite them on. I would like to talk to them. So if you can put in the chat, if you know dating coaches that are telling women or people who are public figures who are or have public channels and are telling women that a coffee date is low value, I would love to invite them on, because that is such baloney. That is such garbage. It really is just such garbage. Now, again, if it was a woman that you had vetted and you really liked and you had promise there and you chose coffee, that wouldn't make much sense. We can all agree. But when it's women that are making TikToks and Instagrams over and over again, disrespecting men, saying they cheated on their boyfriend, man-hating, saying I'm entitled to this and that, who is surprised that men are now given pause and saying, I don't know if I want to shell out cash on date one, given that the last guy that shelled out cash, she made a video about him and humiliated him online. Is there an agenda here? What's going on? That's why we're doing this. That's why we're saying this. But I would love to talk to these guys. That's why I brought this up to y'all. So if you know anyone in the chat, we'll invite them on.
Tyler, I'm going to hold your hand when I say this. We're choosing to be single. We are. We live it here. You know, 52% of American women adult American women are single. 52%. That is crazy. And it is not because we cannot find you. You guys are literally in our DMs every single day, constantly chasing us and harassing us. It's not because we can't find you. Okay, it's because we don't want you. There's actually so much research as to why women are just choosing to be single these days. Like, I mean, I could go into a whole docuseries about this, but women used to have men for financial security and shelter and protection and even basic rights. And then men went left and started making us have our own careers, raise the children essentially by ourselves, take care of the household alone, leave our feminine energy behind. We can't even get a dinner. We have to split it 50-50. So essentially you want us to be the man, but you also want us to like be your mom, your maid, your emotional caregiver, and put out for you. I'm okay, Tyler. It's no longer an insult for a woman to be single. And the reason y'all don't like standards is because that means y'all have to level up.
Okay, there's a new trend happening now, by the way, where women do these videos with the sunglasses on for like added effect. It's not working, honey. It's just ridiculous. It's so showy and stupid. Also, did you catch the nails? Long and pointy. Warning. Every time you see the long pointy nails, I want you to pause as a man and say, do I want to get into this type of trouble? Really? Because it is like almost a bulletproof formula. Long pointy nails formula for just horrid experience for you. Okay, so this is about her choosing to be single. Number one, stop chasing these women. Stop, because do you hear her saying, you're sliding into my DMs, you're all up in my business, I just don't want you. Because what it does is they absorb all of this attention that you give them. It inflates their ego, and they're not taking you seriously anyway. They're not interested. They're basically telling you, go away. Now, of course, if you go away, then they'll be crying that they're not getting any attention. They'll be like that girl in the dress, the orange dress that was like, I can't get anyone to pay attention to me, and I wore this dress, right? It will happen. But it also has to happen, right? It has to happen because the attention they're getting online is it really is. When they say they're getting hundreds of messages, it's not an exaggeration. That is how it's going. What I love about this video, though, is the blame game. So what she's saying is that she doesn't need, and women in general, talking about young women, don't need men because men made women act like men. Men made us go and have these careers, and men now want us to also take care of the home by ourselves, and men wanted us to leave our feminine energy behind. Honey, stop the lies. Men didn't ask you to do that. Men didn't ask. You decided. You made a decision. Maybe not you personally, but we're talking about women here. Women made a decision that they wanted to be equal to men, which means the same. They wanted to climb the corporate ladder or whatever ladder it is, whatever career climb they wanted to do. They did not want to work at home. As a housewife, a stay-at-home mom, they did not want to do any of that. They decided, well, I want to work. I want to have my own money. I need to have my own money to protect myself from a man in case he leaves me. All of the language. I'm just as good as a man. I'm just as strong as a man. I'm just as this as a man. I am just as comfortable in the corporate climb as a man, right? My husband's a doctor. I want to be a doctor, right? That is what happened. Let's just be realistic. Women made a decision that they wanted to follow a masculine path. Men didn't make you do that. Men didn't ask you to do that. You decided to do that. And then men had to adjust by saying, oh, okay, well, who's going to raise the kids now? And had to somehow get comfortable, which they shouldn't have done, get comfortable with nannies and with au pairs if you have money. Although au pairs are surprisingly not that expensive because they get room and board. It's a whole thing. Andrew Wilson mentioned that once. Oh, au pairs are they're not. Nannies, yes. Or daycare or whatever it may be. Everyone had to adjust to this newfound desire that women have to be men. So, and now you want to have your cake and eat it too. You want to act like a man, right? You want to follow a masculine path. You want to do all those things, but then you want to be treated like a damsel in distress lady when the bill comes or when it's time to provide and protect. You want to cite all these things that a guy should do, but he's not allowed to step in and say, hey, can you act like a lady or are you feminine at all? Or that is how this went. This was not that men pushed you into this. You did it. And now you're all confused about what you want. Because you want the gentleman, but you don't want the gentleman. But you want the boss babe life, but you don't want the boss babe life. You want to have your cake and eat it too all the time. And you expect men to do a little dance around what you want. It doesn't work like that. It's deeply, deeply confusing. So women, own up. Guys, stop chasing women that just respect you. Next clip. Let's roll. Number 4.
This is one of the many reasons why I can't stand hookup culture, because hookup culture is responsible for creating women's overinflated and slightly delusional sense of their level of attractiveness. And I know that sounds harsh, but stay with me because it is not women's fault, okay? What happens is women hook up with a guy way out of their league, and so they come to the conclusion of, oh, I slept with, an 8, 9, 10, so that means I can pull an 8, 9, 10 to date. When the reality is men have zero standards when it comes to hooking up. They would hook up with someone from freaking Middle Earth, okay? But when it comes to actually dating, that's when men's standards exist. And women haven't been able to reconcile that quite yet. So instead, they erode their own self-worth. They erode the self-worth of the men around them who are actually in their league, but they keep rejecting. And this is why it is so monumentally important to abstain until a man is committed to you. And I will fervently die on that hill.
Okay. I don't have a problem with the abstaining at all. Honey, you were almost there. Here's the problem with what she's saying. Part of it is true, right? Because guys will hook up. Say you're an 8, 9, 10 guy and you go out, you will hook up with a 6, but you won't want to settle down with a 6. We know that. Okay. So she's right about that. The part where she's wrong is when she says it's not women's fault. Well, let me ask you this, honey. Who makes the decision to hook up with the guy? The women do. So if you're a woman and you know, and by the way, you do know, if you're a woman, you know if you were hooking up with a guy way out of your league. You have eyes. You know, and it's not just the visual, it's what he brings to the table. You know if it's someone that's way out of your league. And you usually call a friend and you're like, oh my God, you're in awe that it even happened. You also know that that guy's not going to take you seriously, but you do it anyway on the slim chance that maybe, just maybe, you know. So are women babies or adults? They're adults, right? They want to be treated like adults. They want to, they're responsible for making their own decisions. Okay, then you need to own up. Here's an idea, ladies. If you don't want that 8, 9, or 10 guy to not take you seriously after you hook up with them, if you're a 6, don't hook up with them. Just say no. Say, you know what? I'm not doing hookups. That's not what I'm about. I'm here for serious dating. Take it seriously. Give off the vibe that you are there for something serious, and that 8, 9, or 10 guy, if he's not interested in you in a serious way, he won't do it. He's not going to want the relationship, right? If that's the case, and he's just going to say, never mind. That is on you. So you don't get to say, well, I demeaned my self-worth by doing XYZ, and it's your fault that I did it. No, it's your fault that you did it. It's your self-worth. It's your self-respect. It's your decision-making. So if you don't want to be disrespected, or you don't want to feel like a guy just slept with you and didn't talk to you the next day, then when you get a vibe that he's there to sleep with you and just not talk to you the next day, don't sleep with him. Stop blaming men. Stop blaming men for the decisions that you make that aren't in your best interest. So is she right about some of the stuff? Sure. But if you're going to erode, she even used the word, erode your self-worth, but it's not your fault. And I love that, because in one breath, we say you're responsible, you're adult, you can run your own life. And another breath, we're like, oh, you're like a little infant. Like you made a decision, but it's a man's fault. No, own up. It's your life. Own up to the decisions that you make and the consequences. Today's show is brought to you by, this is one of my favorite companies to partner with. This is American Hartford Gold. I've always believed in personal responsibility, taking care of your family, protecting what you've earned, and not waiting around for the government or Wall Street to do that stuff for you. But let's face it, things are getting out of control. National debt's exploding, inflation is hitting hard, the market has been dropping, you know it. If you've been relying on it to protect your future, then that should be your wake-up call. That's not fear-mongering, that's just reality. For those of us who still believe in traditional values like working hard and saving smart and providing for the people you love, we need to think seriously about how to protect our money. That's why I trust American Hartford Gold. They help you to move your savings into something real, something physical. Gold and silver, not paper promises, not digital currencies, real lasting value. You can have gold and silver delivered straight to your door. How cool is that? Or you can place it in a gold IRA that gives you powerful tax advantages. Did you hear that? Their customer service is exactly what you'd hope for. I love it. It's honest. It's helpful. It's totally committed to walking you through every step. Super helpful. They've earned an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and the trust of thousands of families, including my family. And right now, when you make your first purchase and mention my name, mention Jedediah, you could qualify for up to $15,000 in free silver. How cool is that? Amazing. This isn't about politics. It's about being smart. It's about being prepared. It's about doing right by the people who count on you, your children, your family. Call 844-725-1818, or you can just text Bila to 65532. That's 844-725-1818, or text Bila to 65532, or you can just click on the link below. It's all going to be in the show description. All the details are below. Take control of your future, because no one's going to do it for you.
he was like, we should date. And I was like, no. And he's like, yeah, we'd be good. And I was like, no. And then I like jokingly told my younger sister who had met him, and she was like, oh, he's so great. He's amazing. He's such a nice guy. And I was like, yeah, that's exactly it. Like, I can't be with a guy that's nice. Like, what? And she's like, no, he's so sweet. And I was like, no. And then I like, my sister's voice started getting in my head, and I was like, can I be with a nice guy? Like, should I be with a guy that could actually treat me right? So then I was like, fine. Like, I'll give him a shot. And then I was like, he's amazing.
Okay. I pulled this for a reason. Now, in this case, she's saying he's amazing. Do we know how long that's going to last? We don't. Odds are, in cases like this, where women talk about men like, oh, I'm not into the nice guy, or I could never date a nice guy, and then he's a nice guy, and it winds up being amazing. Oftentimes that doesn't last because she's telling you from the get-go that she's drawn to like this bad boy energy, and he obviously doesn't have it. So it may last for a little while because he's going to do nice things for her. He's going to buy her nice dinners. He's going to come with flowers. He's going to do all the stuff, and she's going to be like, he tickled pink, right? But she's letting you know from second one that there's something intrinsically boring about that to her. So here's the thing. Can you be a nice guy? Yes. Can you be soft and mushy like an ice cream cone, sugar, sugar, sweet, sweet, over the top? No, you can't. The deal is you got to have, as a man, you got to have like a little edge to you, right? Guys in the chat, you know this. You know that if you got to kind of like have it together in such a way that you don't come off needy. Or what happens is they'll take, and they'll be like, oh, yeah, he's so nice. In other words, he's doing for me. He's sitting on the couch with me. He watches whatever movie I want. He cooked me dinner, and it like feels good for a minute. And then they go out one night and they see that guy that doesn't do all that, but he's got that like edgy, sexy charm to him. And they're like, So don't lose your edge as a man. Don't lose your masculinity. Don't lose your desire to live your own life and to make your own decisions and to not just bend with the ebbs and flows of everything she wants every second of the day, every minute, all the time. Because if you lose that, it might seem really fun for the minute, right? She'll be like, oh, I'm loving this. And, I promise you she will get bored of you and she will drop you like a hot potato. So be careful with that.
Ladies, this is exactly how you can tell if a man is a bad man or not. You just say to him, all men are terrible. And if he disagrees and says not all men, then he's one of the terrible men. Because men that aren't terrible know that you are not referring to them.
Okay, listen, crazy. Did you see the crazy eyes? Did you see him? Now, I put in the chat if you saw the crazy eye. I want to know if you're able to detect the lunacy. So she had him. And let me just say this. If she's got him now, they ain't going away, if you know what I'm saying. So now you have to basically be willing to say that when she says all men are terrible, what is the correct answer there? You're supposed to say, yeah, all men are just like such shit. Aren't you a guy? You would have to include yourself in that, right? Now, she's claiming that she wants you to say that. If you actually said that, she would be like, does that mean you too? She would turn that on you, right? And you would then have to say, well, no, not me. But generally speaking, guys are terrible. And then she would be like, not attracted to you at all. 0. The attraction would literally go, if it was a 10, to like a 1. Because now you've like, you're like kind of like a male feminist, nauseating. Like deep down inside that makes them like nauseated. It does. They really want you to say, well, that's not true. I'm actually a pretty good guy. Even though they say they don't want that, if you say that, they get like, they start to feel a little heat and they're like, I can't believe you said that. Like, but you stood up. You stood up. You always have to stand up for yourself and for just a normal answer. Like, don't just say, well, what does she want me to say in this situation to kind of get what I want? Don't do that. Don't do it. Don't play the game, because once you start, they wrap you around their finger, right? Wrap you around. Remember those, remember when you were little and you had gum? Nasty image, but you had the gum, you used to chew it and wrap it around your finger. That's what they want to do to you. They want to make it so that you are on pins and needles all the time, trying to please, trying to say the right thing, trying to, not disturb, all the time. And they will take that from date 1 straight through to the wedding, right? And they will love every minute of having all that control. So the answer to all men, first of all, if a woman says all men are terrible, just say, honey, listen, I gotta go. Just leave. You're in the park going for a walk, and listen, I'm not interested in this kind of crazy. Gotta go. Get out like then. I don't care if she looks like the hottest woman you ever saw in your entire life. I promise you, it's not worth it. I promise you, there is no amount of rattling the headboard that will be worth it when it's just not. Okay. And she's bonkers. So you never know what you're going to get into in that situation. Leave. And the correct answer is all men aren't terrible. I'm not terrible. And that's kind of effed up that you said that. If it pisses her off, who cares? Are you taking a woman seriously anyway who says all men are terrible and waits to see what you say like it's some sort of sick game? No. So who cares? Loads off you. Hit that subscribe button. Hit it now. Hit that subscribe. Hit that like. By the way, did y'all like the Sterling Cooper interview? It was the lighting in there was like, I felt like I was in The Godfather. It was like very dark and, but it was good, right? I'm telling you, hit that subscribe, hit that like, and the guests shall come to Mama. Mama delivers. All right. Last clip of the day. I love this one. Number 7.
I have a pretty strict no eye contact policy at the gym, and today I was reminded exactly why. The gym isn't the safest place for females. Think about leg day in particular. The majority of the exercises you do on a leg and glute day when you're lifting weights can be very sexualized. They're tricky. This is why I don't make eye contact, because you got to think it through. I guarantee men do not have to put this much thought into their workouts when they're at the gym and navigating the machines and the free weights and all things. Take, for example, you're doing deadlifts, okay? Who's behind me? If I position myself in a way that it's like, hey, I'm looking straight at your ass even if I'm not trying to, that's not their fault. Today, I'm looking for reverse hack squat machine because I'm going to do it in the reverse actually and stick my ass out and make it a variation of a deadlift. So as I'm walking towards this machine, I make eye contact with the guy next to the machine. He's on the decline angled leg press, and I was already putting my weights on my machine, but the way that he looked at me, I know ladies, you can identify with this. It's like that look of, I'm going to eat you. Like, come a little closer because I'm going to eat you, little girl. And it's terrifying. So I put my weights on and then I'm like, actually, nope. Because the angle I was going to be at, I was going to be putting my ass out and he's decline on a leg press. Perfect view of my ass coming at him. And that wasn't even be his fault. But because of the way that he looked at me, I'm like, nope, I don't think so. So I'm going to go over one machine until you're done with that machine and we'll just circle back. And I clock him seeing me abandon my machine that I was putting weights on and opt for the one next to it. And I swear to God, I thought he was going to come over and say, hey, I don't know, like whatever it was, like, hey, you can work out here, which wouldn't have been his fault. But I'm like, please don't say anything because I had already had it planned. I was going to say, oh, I'm supersetting. Not. Actually, you looked at me really creepily and I'm going to opt not to work out next to you because of it. But you know what? If he wants to think I'm a bitch, he can think I'm a bitch. Or he may not even think anything of it. But I stand by. It's dangerous to make eye contact at the gym.
Man, I started to drift off. Wow. They can just, women really, myself included, I have to say, can really just yap, right? Just keep going with it. Like the gums just move. We could drive a man crazy with that, right? Sometimes I say to my husband, I want to talk. And I could see in his eyes like, oh, dear God, this is going to go on for a very, very long time. I'm just like, sometimes we just do it, right? See, you got to own up to your own. Just see what I just shared? I do it too. But this was really the intricacies of the butt and the positioning and all this. Okay. So, honey here, I want to ask, what was she wearing at the gym? Crickets. Dead silence. Why doesn't she go to a women's only gym? Crickets. More silence. She doesn't go to a women's only gym because she's there to get attention. Have you noticed that the clothing that women wear in the gym has gotten smaller and tighter and like it's basically a corset? I mean, it used to be, don't get me wrong, people used to wear, actually, to be completely honest, when I was younger, people used to wear sweatpants. I used to wear sweatpants to the gym. That's what you wore sweatpants. It was actually about exercising. I know, amazing. Then as I got older, the clothing got smaller. And you know what? I wore some of that tight fitted clothing, Why did I wear it? Because I liked getting attention in the gym. Because I liked male attention. And I was not afraid to admit that. I was not wearing tight-fitting clothing and then saying, oh my God, these guys look at me. Ew, this is so gross. It's unsafe. First of all, what gym do you go to, honey, that is unsafe? Have you ever in your life been in a gym that actually felt, I mean, where are you in the underground? Really? Most people are going to Crunch or going to, come on, all right? What's going to happen in the gym? Really, broadly lit. It's so lit in those gyms that like the blue light is just radiating deep into your body. Not saying nothing could ever happen in a gym. You'll be like, oh, but Jed, there was that one time. But realistically, is that really a feeling that women feel unsafe in the gym? If you feel unsafe in the gym, first of all, why do you go to that gym, right? Let's just really take it back. Why do you go to that gym? If you go find a gym where you feel safe, honey. Secondly, if you don't want to be around guys who are going to notice that you're half naked in the gym because all of you are, then go to a women's only gym and shut your trap, right? If you don't want to be stared at in the gym, then stop going into the gym with tight fitted clothes that accentuate every part of the body. Now they've got, have you noticed, guys, the spandex pants with the little bunchy part by the crack? You know what I'm talking about. It bunches. And you know what women do? Because I hear the conversations. I want to get the pants with the bunchy because it makes my ass look so good. Like they go and shop for the clothes that pop the butt, right? Oftentimes too, when they take those, now they have, by the way, spandex that it's tight around the leg and then loose. So it actually gives the effect of like a Kardashian-esque butt when it's not like really that way. I mean, it's all manipulation, right? And it's all for attention. Now, I would not care if you're a single woman, right? And you want male attention and you're like trying to meet a guy and you go to the gym and you want to look hot. Girlfriend, go get your scunchy little spandex and do your thing. Like, I have no problem with that. I get it. Women want to look hot and they want men to look at them. My problem is when women lie. When they go get the scrunchy pants and they want guys to stare at them, but they don't want to admit that. So then they bitch and moan that you stared at them when they're half naked at the gym doing squats. So just honestly, be honest. Just be honest, and then no one has a problem with you, honey. Women-only gyms. I would love to see a women-only gym in her town. You know what it would be? Empty. Empty because they don't want to go there without the guys. You know it. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Do it for me now. Get the chat. Tell me, by the way, I want to hear from you in the comments and in the chat. Who do you want to hear from on the show? Booking guests now. And some will be in person, some will be remotely. Who do you want to hear from? Leave it in there. I check the messages and I see them. Oh, yeah. Have a nice day. See you soon. Bye.